All right, y'all. So, just like MJ, I'm going to be doing a Larry Bird video, right? Now, I've obviously done Larry Bird videos on my channel, reacting to Larry Bird highlights and stuff like that, some of his trash talk. But this video is called Making the Case. Now, this video is going to be making the case as to why Larry Bird might be the greatest player of all time. You know what I'm saying? I never told y'all that I was never going to move my opinion as for who I actually think is the GOAT. I said, as for right now, I do think MJ's the GOAT. Granted, he was not beating Larry Bird. He was not beating him. Larry Bird was putting belt to booty every time against Jordan. Now, it was baby Jordan, but still. And it was prime Larry Bird, but still. You feel me? At the end of the day, we're going to leave all that aside. We're going to leave everything aside. We're just going to go after skill, right? We're just going to go after skill. Now, this video is called Making the Case. So, we got to see. I'm very intrigued to see, like I said to y'all, man. If my opinion changes, my opinion changes. You feel me? Maybe at the end of this video, I say Larry Bird is the GOAT. Maybe. Let's see. You feel me? But if you're new, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Turn on post notifications to be notified whenever I post a new video. Let's check it out, man. Let's see, man. Let's see.
Basketball is special. The size of the court and the lack of pads or helmets give fans the most intimate experience of a team sport that exists. And because of the different styles that basketball allows for, players develop their own distinct identities and signature styles through their creativity, flair, and athleticism. And although no player succeeds alone, the scoring volume and two-way nature of the sport give individual stars a nearly unprecedented amount of control over the flow and outcome of a game. For this reason, players are constantly compared to their peers and to the legends of the past in order to answer the most hotly contested question in the sport. Who's the greatest to ever do it? For many, the question is redundant. They believe in only one right answer, their answer. Others might have their own personal stance, but acknowledge one or two alternatives.
And that's where I'm at, y'all. That's where I'm at. I've been saying it constantly in my videos. It doesn't matter if I was talking about Curry. It doesn't matter if I was talking about MJ. It doesn't matter if I was talking about Magic. It doesn't matter if I was talking about Bird. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to me even saying Curry's the greatest shooter ever, I've said, okay, but Larry has an argument. Larry has an argument. The thing is, when y'all in the comments talk about Curry not being the greatest shooter, y'all don't say he has an argument. Y'all say, no matter what, Larry Bird is the greatest shooter of all time. When it came to MJ, I said, or when it came to LeBron, I said, at the time, I said MJ has a case. And then quickly, with watching and honestly redoing my homework, I went back to being MJ's the GOAT, bro. MJ's the GOAT. And right now, we doing that same thing, bro. We doing that same thing. So, hey, man, I'm definitely in this niche of, you know what I'm saying? I hear people out. I'm never just going to be like, oh, this is the greatest person to do this and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
But I believe that there's much more nuance to the question of greatness and more answers to it than you might think. By my count, there are 8 players in NBA history that have a substantial claim as the GOAT. It's a subjective thing, though. I can't give you a definitive answer. All I can do is make the argument.
Okay.
So today, I'll be making the case for Larry Bird as the greatest basketball player of all time.
Let's see. Man, we ready. Yeah, come on. Shout out Clayton.
When it comes to basketball, Larry Bird is the smartest, clutchest player to ever play the game. Now, if you don't think that Larry Bird is the greatest basketball player of all time, you probably hate that I just said that. Those are the kind of talking head sport cliches that surely impact the game but are impossible to empirically measure. Normally, I'd agree with you, but I think that when you talk about Larry Bird, you see those intangibles become real, palpable results. I wouldn't have said it if I didn't believe it. When Larry Bird was drafted by the Boston Celtics in 1978, the NBA needed saving. Attendance was in the toilet, the league had few marketable stars, cocaine addiction had several players in its grasp, and most damning of all, playoff games were being tape delayed. Playoff games at the highest level of basketball were being put in the back seat for black and white movies and network reruns.
Crazy.
But rather than join the Celtics after being taken 3rd overall, Larry Bird decided to return for his final year at Indiana State, a decision that would prove to be one of the most important in the history of the sport. Bird's final year saw the Sycamores tear through college basketball, going 33-0 before the national championship.
Them Indiana jerseys was nasty. That color, bro, if y'all don't know, that's my favorite color. This blue, this type of blue right here, including this blue, a lot of y'all call it baby blue. I kind of call it turquoise. This is like my favorite color blue. Man, I might fuck around and get this jersey by Bird. I ain't gonna lie, it's nasty.
Game. Bird, already claimed by the NBA's most historic and prestigious franchise, had established himself as the generational talent who would inherit the mantle of pro basketball. Indiana State's opponent in the national championship was Michigan State, captained by the immortal Irvin Magic Johnson. The Sycamores lost the championship to the more talented Spartans in the highest rated game in the history of basketball at any level still to this day.
Sheesh.
The stage had been set. The next decade of basketball would be defined by the rivalry between the white hick from French Lick and his Boston Celtics and the black Magic and his Showtime Lakers. The rivalry between Bird and Johnson is entwined into the fabric of the NBA and is worthy of 100 documentaries. In this video though, we're going to be looking at Bird's claim of supremacy. Here's Bird's basketball resume.
Alright, so I'm kind of in the way, but I'll just read off the last one to y'all, bro. We got 3 championships, 3 regular season MVPs, those were the ones that were back to back to back, 2 finals MVPs, 12 all-star selections, and 10 all-NBA teams, 9 first teams, and 1 second team. That's a pretty good accolade. That's pretty good accolades, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Bird never won a, well, I guess they're not putting everything. Because I was about to say, where are the 3-point competition, you know what I'm saying, trophies? Like, he won all 3 of those. We just reacted to that, you know what I'm saying? I was about to say, has he ever won an All-Star Game MVP as well? Maybe homie just left it out, but...
His 3 championships come with perhaps the highest collective degree of difficulty of any player's championships.
Okay.
His 3 MVPs came consecutively, making him only the 3rd player to accomplish the feat, along with Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. His 2 finals MVPs are misleading. He was absolutely the best player on the '81 Celtics, but he was only a sophomore, and his 15 points per game in the finals gave the media an excuse to exact a little vengeance on a legendarily difficult interview.
Damn, so Larry got robbed of 1 finals MVP. Hey, man, it's okay. Curry got robbed of 1, too. Curry got robbed of 1, too, y'all. This video's not about Curry, but I'm just saying Curry got robbed of 1, too. Now, y'all know that's my favorite player. That's why I'm bringing him up. Damn, that sucks.
All-star and first-team selections also come with the caveat that Bird only played for 13 seasons and missed all but 6 games of the '89. Come with the caveat that Bird only interview. His All-Star and first-team selections also come with the caveat that Bird only played for 13 seasons and missed all but 6 games of the '89 season.
Bird only played 13 seasons? Now, obviously, y'all, I know Bird didn't play that long. I know he didn't play that long because of all of his body issues and everything like that. But he only played 13 seasons. He was All-Star 12 times. Woo! That's heavy. That's heavy, y'all. That's heavy. Now, this video, I ain't gonna lie. This is actually a good video as for trying to do homework on somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is an actual good video. Because out of all the videos I've been watching, y'all, like, it's things where I'm, like, picking up little things by each video. This video is telling me everything.
Doing surgeries on both feet.
On both feet, too.
I can hear you already. A 13-year career. And this guy is supposed to be the GOAT? What color of paint are you huffing, Clayton?
I'm crying.
Green, obviously. But hear me out. Yeah, Bird's
career
career lasted about 2/3 as long as it should have. But what he did in that time was so impressive and so substantial that every basketball fan acknowledges that he's in the conversation as the greatest ever. Doesn't it matter that those 13 years saved professional basketball, delivered a disproportionate amount of memorable moments, defined the golden age of the league, and produced a career by which all other forwards, before or since, are measured? Bird's
I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, forget everything he just said. It's not even like, to me, when I was saying the whole thing about Bird not being my GOAT or whatever, it had nothing to do with how long he played. Y'all can't even pull up a clip of me saying that. It had nothing to do with that. But I think what more so is impressive with the fact that he only played 13 seasons is his resume in 13 seasons. People trying to discredit, I don't know who's discrediting Larry Bird for only playing 13 seasons. As for why he can't be the GOAT, he can have an argument just for even playing 13 seasons because look at what he did in 13 seasons. That's impressive for 13 seasons. And it's different from him just like, let's say Buddy just like in his last few years, he just started slowing down. He wasn't like that no more or whatever. But still those 13 years, he produced all that. Then that's a little different. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he technically was forced to retire, y'all. Forced to. So it's like, that's why I'm never going to use the argument as for like how long he played. I can't do that. Because at the end of the day, man, like there's a lot of folks who we don't know how good they would have been. We don't know if they would have been the greatest player of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know, bro.
squeezed every drop of talent out in those 13 years and made it seem more like 30. He didn't just leave his fingerprints on the game. He left so much of his DNA in the sport that it needed a cigarette afterwards. There's something to be said about the candle that lasts half as long but burns twice as bright. Those 3 MVP years stack up with any other run by any other player. I will put an A+ Larry Bird season up against anyone's. What does an A+ Larry Bird season look like? A full box score, a blowout win, a nearly undefeated record at home, and a play style that could only be described one way: white.
Yeah, almost like literally almost going undefeated at home all season is absolutely insane. Weren't they like 50-6 or something like that? Like, that's absolutely crazy. I'm not gonna lie. That's actually insane. Now, obviously, that's a team thing, but like, I'm counting that, bro. That's actually wild.
Larry Bird isn't just a white basketball player. He's the white basketball
the
player.
white.
To describe Larry Bird's game is to thumb through the Hoops dictionary and pick out every cliche about white players. Unathletic, great shooter, good fundamentals, the whole thing. The archetype of a white basketball player is Larry Bird, with one exception. He had an unparalleled understanding of the game of basketball, both as a physical contest and as a mental competition. His basketball IQ infected everything he did and catapulted his career into legend. Bird was a complete player. Jerry West called him nearly as perfect as you can get. He was the league's first great marksman. He could contort his body to shoot from anywhere on the court, regardless of the level of defense. He pioneered the art of the dagger 3 and was the founding member of the 50-40-90 club. At 6'9", Bird's understanding of angles and coordination led to a higher rebounding average than Patrick Ewing, and it made him an impressively adept finisher in his younger years. 86, Bird dropped 47 points on the Blazers, playing the majority of the game left-handed. His lack of quick lateral movement meant that Bird didn't do much when it came to slapping the floor and picking up the opposing point guard, but his size and omniscience gave him the ability to body similarly sized players, read defenses
how tall was Bird? Was he like 6'6", 6'7"?
Free safety, and pick off passing lanes with ease. His passing was transcendent, and I'll highlight it later. And of course you need to know that Larry Bird was a tough effort. He had a superhuman motor and dove for loose balls like a beagle at the park. He was a willing participant in his share of fights, often precipitated by his league-renowned trash talk.
Larry Bird told Robert Reedy the other day that he should have stayed in preaching. That was funny. He had 50 points.
I was guarding in my rookie year. He looked at me and he goes, "You can't stop me." And I looked at him and I said, "Gosh, boy, you're so confident." He proceeded to score like 10 straight points on me. He took me out the game. He walks by and he's laughing at me.
He was a basketball genius. He'd be a step ahead, a thought ahead, play the game like a chess game.
I'd much rather guard Michael Jordan than Larry Bird because you have to play the game as a thinker when you're playing him. You have to get inside his mind.
If you put all of us in a room, Magic, Joe.
I ain't gonna lie. To talk about this generation of basketball, even though it's a little different now because my era of basketball is really about to end. My players like Steph, KD, Bron, like they about to go. That's what folks. I feel like that's how folks talk about my era. You know what I'm saying? Like folks say they would rather guard LeBron than have to play Curry. Like it's just a fact, bro. Go look it up. Go do your homework. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man.
Jordan, myself, and Bird. Bird probably be the guy who walks out of the room at the end of the day.
Did you notice something during those testimonies? Those are some of the best basketball players of all time, and they all sing Bird's praises like they were former assassins who had to go toe-to-toe with John Wick, and they're just happy to be alive. Bird excelled during one of the most talent-rich periods in league history. The abridged list of his basketball rivals goes like this: Dr. J and Moses Malone on the Philadelphia 76ers, Sidney Moncrief on the Milwaukee Bucks, Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer and the Bad Boy Pistons, Dominique Wilkins on the Atlanta Hawks, Bernard King on the New York Knicks, Michael Jordan on the Chicago Bulls, Hakeem Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson on the Houston Rockets, and of course, Magic Johnson, James Worthy, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the Los Angeles Lakers. Alright, there's no point avoiding it any longer. We have to look at Magic versus Larry. If you have Magic over Larry, it's because he has 5 rings to Larry's 3, had a peak that lasted about 2 or 3 years longer than Larry's, and had a 2-1 record against Bird's Celtics in the finals.
Man, I don't care about none of that. If anybody, and I'm not even a Magic hater, if anybody has Magic over Bird, you're smoking. You are smoking. And I don't want none of that shit. That is some bad shit for you. I don't want none of it. What? Who has who has Magic over Bird? Man, I don't want to see nobody in the comments talking about they have Magic. I don't care about the finals records, and I don't care. He's not a better basketball player than him. Facts.
Perfectly.
Bro, that man, Larry Bird could do everything Magic Johnson could do. No cap. Literally everything.
Legitimate, completely respectable arguments. But in the interest of making Bird's case, allow me to retort. For nearly the entire decade of the 1980s, the Eastern Conference was irrefutably the more competitive conference between the two. Considering the competition, for Bird to have made 5 finals appearances is just as impressive as Magic's 9. As for the head-to-head record responsible for Magic's 2 extra titles, he had more help. Seriously, the Celtics' Big Three and the Lakers' Big Three get compared all the time historically as if they were of equal caliber.
Bro, this man Magic literally had a winning situation he went to in LA. Like I said, there's no disrespect to Magic, y'all, at all. But, like, obviously, right now it's a Larry versus Magic debate. And I just feel like I have to bring up the whole Magic and Curry debate as well, bro. Like, in a way, I just have to, yo. I'm not glazing Curry. I'm honestly going to stop talking about Curry because I don't want y'all to think I'm trying to just make this video about him. But, like, when I think about Magic, I literally just think about the fact that he kind of got blessed into a good situation. Now, granted, luckily he did because the NBA got saved. For real. So, luckily he did. But I just think about that all the time. And I'm like, man, you got drafted to the Lakers with Kareem, bro. Like... Folks don't, like, you need to tell me if Bird got drafted to the Lakers, do you know how many chips he probably has?
Magic's accomplishments just a step above Bird's. No disrespect at all to Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish.
Yeah, no disrespect to them at all.
Kareem was the alpha dog on the 71 Bucks and was the best player for at least 2 of the Lakers' 5 titles. James Worthy was the #1 pick out of UNC after winning a championship as the best player on a team that had Michael Jordan on it. Throw in the fact that Magic got to be coached by Pat Riley, one of the most brilliant minds in basketball history, and you could say that the Magic-Bird argument comes down to one thing: luck. So if their careers come down to luck, the question just becomes who you would rather take. Now, I'm not making this video to tell you why you shouldn't take Magic. I'm making this video to tell you why you should take Bird. Not just over Magic, but over everybody. One thing that helps him is the fact that his play would translate perfectly into the league today. A 6'9" sharpshooting forward with eyes in the back of his head who averaged double-digit rebounds in an era against Moses and Lambeer. He'd gobble up boards as a power forward. He'd be an offensive mismatch against everybody as a small ball center, and his off-ball skills and passing would pair perfectly with the flow of today's game.
I definitely don't think Bird could have been a small... Because I'm trying to think if Bird was like on our team, y'all. Because y'all know my Warriors, we don't really get no dominant centers at all. You know what I'm saying? We literally got Draymond over here playing the 5, which is why we be losing. But I'm trying to think if Larry Bird had to play the 5 in today's NBA, regardless of how soft y'all call it and all that stuff like that. I'm trying to think. I wouldn't like that, though. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want him to play the small ball 5 because, bro, you got to have Larry guard folks like Joel Embiid, Jokic. I don't really want that. You know what I'm saying? Just because of weight. Simply just because of weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really wouldn't want to see that. But, hey, put him at power forward. We talking.
Add in his competitive mania and 3 generations worth of medical advancements, and we're talking about a player who could have stuck around so long they would have had to rename the league. As you've been watching these clips of Bird, I would hope that you would notice something. He always knows where everybody is. Watching Bird play basketball is like watching those monsters from A Quiet Place that know where you are if you make any noise at all. Bird had a level of clairvoyance that bordered on the unnatural. In '85, he ended up 1 steal away from a quadruple-double after playing just the first 3 quarters. His passing was famously infectious and helped transform the Celtics of the 80s into an ideal that basketball teams at all levels are still shown tape of. They moved the ball with precision and intent, always looking for better shots and determined to get the entire team involved in the effort. That fact is almost entirely attributable to Bird and his wizardry with the ball. This acumen also helped Bird become the only player with a GOAT claim to transition successfully into other basketball roles after his playing career. In his 3 years as the head coach of the Pacers, Bird won a Coach of the Year award, coached the Pacers to their first and only finals appearance, and gave Michael Jordan as much trouble as he'd ever gotten in his career in the 90s.
Yo, this man Bird, he just had the blueprint on Jordan, bro. Even though they didn't win, not granted. He wasn't on the court. And I mean actually on it, dribbling that basketball. Had Larry Bird been on that court with the Indy, I ain't gonna lie, with the Pacers, they probably beat you. They probably beat Michael Jordan. I'm gonna be honest. Because there's no way this man became a coach and still supposed to beat a Jordan. Yo, this is actually insane, man. Because we just heard about this, I believe, in like the whole video about the 90s or whatever, like pretty much the Jordan era. We just heard about this, how the Indiana Pacers went up against the Bulls. But I did not know that Larry Bird was the coach. And still came close to being you, Jordan. He just had the blueprint. He had the blueprint. He had it. I don't know what it was, but he knew, even though he did not win this. He just
Eastern Conference Finals. After moving into a front office role for Indiana, he won Executive of the Year in 2012, becoming the only person to have an MVP, Coach of the Year, and Executive of the Year award. On the court or off of it, inside and out, Larry Bird sees basketball as only he can.
Wait, where is Larry Bird nowadays, though? Like, why don't he become a coach now? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know he was already a coach. And y'all also let me know in the comments down below why he stopped being a coach. Because they said it was only 3 years, or he just said it was only 3 years. So why'd he stop? You know what I'm saying?
Intelligence also lent itself to Bird's defining skill, making the big plays. Remember, NBA players get paid to win games. James Harden is getting paid nearly $40 million this year because he's supposed to help the Rockets win games. Victory can be achieved in a lot of ways, and the win column doesn't care how it happens. As Mark Sinclair once said,
It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
But when your team is down 1 in a crucial playoff game with 8 seconds left, and you need to hit a shot to stay in the series and keep your season alive, that's where players really separate themselves and earn their money. Love it or hate it, it's the players that come through in the big moments that live forever in our memories. Some players, for whatever reason, were never able to do it consistently. Some players were truly outstanding at it. Larry Bird was the best at it.
The most clutchest player I've seen, I ain't gonna lie.
I'm not going to give you the stats about his field goal shooting under 2 minutes with a score that's this close, or tell you who has the most buzzer beaters, or any of that.
Take that for data.
I'm just going to show you clutch moments in clutch situations. 1985 against the Blazers. Bird drops 48 points, including this. Down 1 with 2 seconds left.
Inbound pass.
Dang, double too.
Larry, fake, fall away. Hits it! All right!
1985 against the Hawks. Bird sets the Celtics scoring record with 60 points with shots like these.
They open the right side. Bird the fall away. He drills it again. That's the best shooting I've ever seen.
1986 against the Rockets. Not all of Bird's clutch moments were singular. The bigger the moment, the bigger his performance. In Game 6 of the 1986 NBA Finals, Bird clinches the championship with a triple-double in what he calls the best game he ever played.
2 seconds on the shot clock. Bird wants a 3 out of it.
1987 against the Washington Bullets. Bird hits one shot to tie it before it's waved off because of a timeout.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Hits another shot to tie it up for real.
Standing up. It goes now to Bird.
Bird goes one leg.
And then in double overtime, down 1, he does this.
It's going to go to Bird.
Another one leg?
Get it. It is good. It's a 3-point field goal. And that's that. It's all over.
For 3 years, from 1986 to 1988, the three-point contest knew no other champion but Larry Bird.
He's still got to drop one here quickly. 14. This is a tie for the money.
Nah, that shit was too cold, bro.
1987 Eastern Conference Finals, Game 5. Tied at 2 games apiece against the Bad Boy Pistons, this enormous game would put the winner 1 game away from the NBA Finals. The Pistons are up 1 with seconds remaining. The ball goes out of bounds off the Celtics. Isaiah Thomas just needs to inbound the ball to win the game.
Sold. He sold so heavy on this.
There are truly too many big games and big moments for me to go through without this ending up as a documentary. But that all leads me to this, what I really want to talk about. 1987, NBA Finals, Game 4 against the Lakers. LA is up 2-1, and the Celtics need to win to tie the series and stay alive. Bird hits a 3 with 12 seconds left to go up by 2.
Bird goes for 3.
That was good
Green
ball
comes down
movement,
and
too.
gets fouled with 8 seconds left. He makes the first, but misses the second. LA ends up with the ball with 7 seconds left, down 1 point.
In the low post, being guarded by Dennis Johnson.
Byron Scott is in the ball game now.
Magic hits this. The baby
Magic scared to scoot. Magic scared to shoot. Nigga, you was wide open. Shoot that. Shoot that. Why didn't you shoot that?
Magic hits this. The baby skyhook.
That's the iconic though, I ain't gonna lie.
2 seconds left. Down 1.
Dennis Johnson on the inbound.
You have to be guarding him. That's bad defense, man. How do you lose him on, like, for game you lose your assignment, bro? How do you even lose him?
Bird fires it.
What do you think happens? I bet it wasn't that. When I paused the tape and the ball was hanging in the air, you thought it was going in.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, dude.
Bird thought it was going in. Magic thought it was going in. I've seen this game before, and I still think it's going to go in. But it didn't. Pat Riley said it himself. We got lucky. And that, a missed shot in the NBA Finals, is why he's the clutchest. Because after he makes the big plays, has the big games, hits the big shots, time and time again, you expect him to hit every shot, to win every game. And in those fleeting moments when he doesn't, when he looks like a mere human, when he looks like everyone else who tries to do what he does, you just can't believe it. That's what Larry Bird did. He made the big plays so often you thought he was going to make them every time. He helped turn basketball into a global phenomenon, paving the way for every Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, or LeBron James who comes through our lives. He played basketball in its purest form and captained a team that is consistently ranked among the greatest of all time. He has the second highest win percentage in the history of the NBA.
That's crazy.
Behind Magic by less than 1/2%, about 10 games. He was the complete package, a player with no holes in his game whatsoever. They called him Basketball Jesus. He didn't get that name without doing something extraordinary. He saved basketball. And he did it by playing it better than anyone else.
Damn.
Here's Magic at Bird's retirement in 1993.
Larry Bird said that there would be another Larry Bird one day.
Hell no.
And Larry, there will never, ever, ever be another Larry Bird. To the greatest basketball player ever, but more important, a friend forever.
See, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I feel like there's definitely record of Magic saying LeBron's the greatest player ever. Like, I swear I've heard that recently, like, in the last, especially when LeBron went to the Lakers. I've heard him say that. So was he, like, obviously this is back in the day, before Bron even got to the league. But, like, was you not, like, gonna hold that? Like, saying Bird is the greatest player, was you not gonna hold on to that? Because, I'm telling you, I've heard Magic say LeBron's the greatest player ever. I've heard him say that. Or MJ. One of them. That was it.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment down below. Obviously, a lot of y'all got Bird as your GOAT. I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. I will confidently say Bird is my number 2 of all time. I will confidently say that. The only reason why I won't put him over Jordan personally is because Jordan also was a two-way player. On top of, obviously, everything else we already know about Jordan, how great he was, his accolades itself, you know what I'm saying? But he was a two-way player. And I ain't gonna lie, somebody who plays defense, I ain't gonna lie, that's something that, at the end of the day, we all have our own opinions on what we want our GOAT to be or what they have that somebody else doesn't have. And I just feel like the two-way, Jordan being a two-way player, obviously how spectacular he was. Larry Bird was, I've said in my other videos, y'all, Larry Bird is a better overall basketball player than Jordan. I just think Jordan is greater than him. And obviously you can make the case that like this video we just watched. Obviously, at the end of the day, years do matter when it comes to who you're being compared to for the GOAT. Now, I would never say Larry is not one of the GOATs because of his years, like I told you earlier. I would never say he's not one of the GOATs because of how many years he plays. But as for the GOAT conversation, like the main GOAT, it is a little hard to want to put him at number one, knowing that I didn't get to see his full. We all didn't get to see it. You know what I'm saying? Compared to somebody like Jordan, who we saw his full career. You feel me? Jordan, the only thing I do hold over you when it comes to Larry Bird, the Larry Bird argument for who's the best, is the fact that you was not beating him. That's the only thing I hold over you, Jordan. But I do feel like Jordan, at the end of the day, is the GOAT. I just do. At the end of the day, it's not me being stuck. It's not me not wanting to put Larry Bird there. It's just, at the end of the day, it depends on what you value, y'all. It depends on what you value. I won't shame nobody for putting Larry Bird as the GOAT. He's my number 2. LeBron, I don't know why I was ever putting you in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't even know why I was doing that. Like I said, y'all, my generation, my era is coming to an end, but they really did a good job by brainwashing us into thinking Brown is the GOAT. He's not the GOAT. He's not even top 2. You know what I'm saying? He's not. Larry Bird is officially my number 2 greatest player of all time. So shout out to Larry Bird, man. Like I said, y'all, let me know where he's been at, because I haven't seen Larry Bird's face in probably since the top 75 in 2022. It's probably the last time I seen Larry Bird. Like, y'all let me know where he been at, man.